the Board of Public Works meeting, routine meeting to order for February 25th, 2026. And I'd like to have the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of silence. Thank you. So, all the board members are here. Barbara Curtis, Preston Lee, Richard Nichols, and Bob Heffernan. Amy is not here.
She sent an email, said she's not able to attend the meeting.
Okay. Robin Davis and Sharon Sexton and Michael Hoffman are legal counsel.
And Kimberly?
Kimberly.
Yeah, Kimberly.
I don't formally have to be here, I'm just a presenter. You want me to turn this off?
All right. So we have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So, call to the public. Members of the public wishing to address the board on BPW-related matters, whether on tonight's agenda or not, should make their request known at this time. Please note, there will be no opportunities for additional public comment on matters listed on the agenda until the end of the meeting. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes. No action or board discussion, including answering questions, will occur during the public comment period. However, the board president may ask staff to review the matter, and members of the board may ask that the matter be put on future agendas. So, any public comment?
May I make a public comment? No.
There's nobody online. There's no one online. Wow. Okay,
Well, what did Barbara wanted to say?
but you can speak when we're,
It's not something on the agenda.
Mike, your call?
That's like 20 questions here. Is it just like a notice, an observation, or is it a topic of discussion?
It's an observation.
Then you can go ahead.
I would like to congratulate our GMB engineer, who was voted Young Engineer of the Year this year. And thank you. We are privileged to have you.
And we're going to the dinner, so feed us.
It's good you guys allowed that.
Okay. Receive Inframark Report.
Thank you, Josh. Matthew Davis here with Jeffrey Karen from Inframark. I would like to start off by saying thank you to Josh Gribben. So, as you all know, Monday we had a severe power outage. Severe storm came through, wiped us out. We had an operator come in, stay overnight to monitor everything and address any issues. When the power went out, the generator quickly followed. We're still investigating that to what went on and why the generator failed. We don't quite know yet. But it was me, our regional manager was able to make it in, and the operator that stayed in overnight, and that was it. We made many phone calls. We couldn't get anyone in to help us. We were working blind because the SCADA went out. We worked through a very stressful situation. I was on the phone with Josh and Robin throughout the entire process. Josh was able to dig himself out and make it in to help us. And we greatly appreciate that. That got us back online. We found multiple issues in the cabinets that had happened from the generator, just the power surges throughout the night. But he was able to get us back online, and I wanted to give him a shout out and say thank you for that.
So I was going to cover in my notes, but just to add on,
Yes.
keep it all in one place. The outage was about 1:30 a.m.
Yes.
And it was resolved by like 7:15 in the morning. And
Yes.
most of that time, we had to mobilize the National Guard and DELDOT. And they both came through. They went and retrieved our crews, got them to our shop, and then they were out there within
Yes.
15 minutes, they were able to restore circuit two. So I want to give a call out to the electrical team. They did a phenomenal effort.
Absolutely.
Robin and Sharon
Yes,
and I were on phone all night, and I thank you for the updates. And Josh got in of his own accord in the morning and did an exemplary job as usual. So it was a good all-around effort by everyone in a very bad situation. We apologize to the public for the outage, but it was an uncalled for, an unknown storm.
Yes.
And I think one of the things on the positive side is that we had very limited other power outages, which also is a great testament to the electric department for keeping the lines up, tree trimming, and all of that. Because in the county, there were many, many, many more outages.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I read out of 100,000 customers, 50,000 were without power.
Yeah.
So, yes, it was a great job all around. And like I said, I want to thank Josh, thank Robin, Sharon, everybody who worked with us. Like, it was very stressful, but we pulled through.
And just to close out, so as you just said, we're still trying to do
Yes.
the diagnostics, and then we'll do lessons learned from it on how to prevent some things from happening in the future.
Yes.
So
Listen,
that's,
my understanding it was the generator's fault, right?
That was,
But, I mean.
that was one of the main culprits.
If
correct.
that didn't occur, if the generator.
If the generator had
operated-
not failed,
wait,
we would, go ahead, sorry.
If the generator had operated as supposedly it could, would this have happened? Would this failure of the electrical system happened?
I'm not sure, and I think that's why we're overstepping ourselves here now.
No, I'm
Because
just-
the other transients at the plant,
Yes.
the power has to go off and then the transfer switch has to go on. So when that other equipment failed, in my mind, is unknown at this point. Josh, do you agree?
I think that it's pretty early to tell, to
Yeah.
confirm that, but I think sure.
Yeah, I think placing blame on any individual piece at this point is jumping the gun. Okay?
It's kind of like,
We will report back to the public.
it was kind of like the perfect storm, everything tied together, and it was just a bad situation.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry, you can go on.
All right, so now that that's out of the way, so last month we had a few new things. So first, we had the bulk delivery of Neo Water. Our first bulk delivery of Neo Water came in last week. I wasn't able to get that online yet. I was trying to do that on Monday, and with everything that happened, obviously I didn't get to it. But I'm gonna get that online here soon. We're waiting on parts for pump station 6, the valve replacement. I had brought up before at a previous meeting, those valves needed replacing. So the lead time on those is 2 months out. So as soon as those come in, we're gonna get that taken care of, and then we can get that pump that's down in that station replaced. Currently, we are waiting on quotes from Douglas and Company for a structure over top of the beds. I believe you brought that up before about possibly putting some kind of structure back up over top of our drying beds, and I was asked to look into that. So I'm currently waiting on quotes for that.
So, two things there.
Yep.
Kim, I noticed that you zeroed it out, though, in the budget.
Yeah, we don't have an estimate yet.
Yeah, and secondly, the covering the beds, as I expressed before, if it's not going to get us below the county limits,
Yeah,
I see very little value in.
I
Because we're
think,
still going to have to haul, and they're going to have to re-dry.
I do agree with that personally. It would be my recommendation, if you were going to go that route, that we look into buying some type of press or a dryer. I think that would be more beneficial personally, but we can look into that at a later date.
Yeah, as long as everyone's aware that this is not the be-all, end-all.
Not the big cost savings
It
idea.
may not be.
To go off of that also, on Tom's point, we physically don't have enough space to dry all the solids. So even when we had this operation before, we would still have to be hauling liquid. It would just be reduced. We would have dumpsters that we'd be hauling along with the liquids. And at that time, I believe we were getting to about 16 to 17%. They require at least 22. So even with the coverings, the amount of time we'd have to leave it in the beds would probably be multiple weeks. So it would help marginally, but I don't know that it would be a massive cost savings.
And as we talked,
Yes,
any of the coverings would not be hurricane rated. So, you know,
Probably.
we have that risk factor on top of it. Anyway,
Yeah,
we can
so-
discuss that more when you get the quote.
yep. Excuse me. Currently our compactor is still down as well. I brought that up at the previous meeting as well. JWC is extremely unhelpful. We've been sending emails back and forth, trying to get them on site. They have to send a tech out in order to diagnose it. They are proprietary. It needs to be them. So I'm trying to get them out on site. If we don't, I don't know. We're gonna see though.
Would a letter from us?
Help you out,
Possibly.
maybe
And
Robin?
it doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
Is it no response at all, or just?
It's,
Just
they just kind of give us the runaround, kind of, we'll, it's just a correspondence, we'll get to it when we can, kind of, it's,
We can bump.
yeah.
So how is that affecting our operation?
So currently, we are running the compactor in hand, which means it doesn't shut off, it runs full time, full bore. It's not designed to do that. So,
And it's also
yeah,
consuming more water.
yeah,
And water.
yes, also, we're using more water because of that too.
Part of the
Actually,
water
almost
problem?
double the water.
Part of the water problem?
Yes, yes, part of the water problem. So almost double the water possibly. Because it's running in hand full time, like I said, it doesn't have the ability to cool down. And I'm very worried that when we get to the warmer months, that we're gonna have issues with something happening. So I'm gonna work a little harder to try and get that resolved.
So we'll write a letter and try to help out there.
I appreciate that, Tom.
Do we know what a new press and a new
It's a
solution would
brand
cost?
new one.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Do we know what a new press
Filter
compactor
press.
would cost?
Oh, no, so that compactor was just put in a year ago. Yeah,
It's replaced the failed one on the second floor.
yeah, it failed, I believe, 2 weeks after the warranty ran out.
Brilliant engineering.
And like I said, and the problem is everything's proprietary, so it's very difficult to even get somebody to come and work on it. So, also, we had a total nitrogen spike at the end of the month. I wasn't sure if you were going to bring that up or not, so, but I would bring it up for you. So we had a total nitrogen spike at the end of the month. That's mainly due to extremely cold weather. We had 3 to 4 inches of ice across the ditches at one point. Wow. Which I haven't seen since I've been here. So,
Ice skating?
yeah. So for about 2 to 3 weeks there, we really struggled with getting our total nitrogen numbers down. They are now, we now have that under control, but due to the cold weather, it makes it a little difficult sometimes.
And we never exceeded the limit, though.
No.
Press, you okay with that?
I'm not okay with it, but
Yeah.
I understand.
I will say that part of that problem, and as Jeff has brought it up before, we have valves on the ditches we've talked about during the walkthrough that they need to be replaced. We can't control the air to the individual sections currently of our ditches. So it is in a grant that for those valves to be replaced. I've got the quote for the valves. I was supposed to have a contractor show up Monday for doing the construction and putting those valves in. He's supposed to get back with me. Yeah, for a quote. I'm sorry, for a quote. He was supposed to get back with me tomorrow or Friday about the quote to install those valves, and hopefully that will alleviate the issue of the total nitrogen spikes in February and like the colder months.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, not on that, but,
I have a general question. It's I look at the precipitation trend charts every month, influent versus precipitation, and I'm wondering, can we use that to help us figure out how well we're doing on infiltration and, what's the other term?
Inflow.
Inflow, yeah.
That might be a Robin question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, coordinated to precipitation, yes, it's knowing our normal, and when you get heavy rains or even, I don't know, you probably have to be on the heavier side, but it's probably something to be utilized as a way to determine we're getting more flow in compared to, it's hard to say because your pump stations, a lot of them don't have any type of meters on them.
No, not yet.
Is there any way to spread this out on a bigger graph? Because, I mean, hey, it's not, I mean, I'm not gonna be able to discern a trend from that,
We
but
could do this month to month, so this is a year to date. There's a rolling to 12 months, we could do an individual month.
well,
to show
I
you
mean,
that.
or days, I mean,
well, actually,
rain happens in days, and how fast does it show up?
would
if
it be
it
better to
does,
do a
in-
correlation study? Rather than blowing up the graph just,
Yeah.
but it's really the peak of the rainfall versus the peak of the plant.
That, but
I mean, because that would give you the correlation of how well we're doing with lining the sewers and
yeah,
replacing sewers.
but I'm not gonna get it out of this graph.
No, it's not.
I wanted like a year, several years worth of,
Well,
looking
I'm
at
for
to see
that
if we're
too, but
improving.
there's something to learn here,
Yeah,
yes.
but
can you guys suggest something next time of how to correlate, or Robin, and
We can come up with something, guys. Yep.
I would think it'd be pretty easy. I mean, I could read this and see what's happening there.
yeah,
I think I
but
can.
are we having any effect over the long term
Right.
with the reducing
Relining.
infiltration? I can't tell.
Just infiltration or inflow too?
Inflow and infiltration.
Just seems that's something we're tracking. We ought to be able to learn something from it and maybe target corrective action.
Well, I mean, we're borescoping lines as we go.
Yeah.
And we are lining, so, I mean, we are, but I don't
Working
know
on it.
how much we're doing.
Right.
Because Robert, we have what, 50% PVC? And the rest of it is ductile iron, cast iron, wood,
Clay. Clay.
clay.
Yeah.
Terracotta.
That's terracottas.
Yeah.
That's the real problem.
We don't have any wood anymore, do we?
No, I don't think so.
No, we've never found wood here. My old town, yes, but not here.
Do you have a feel for how much terracotta still exists?
I don't know off the top of my head, I don't
I
know.
mean, because that would be, that's, no. I mean, 50% or, because I think we had a plan or a proposal to eliminate it at one time.
I thought when we discussed this before that the records back that far when terracotta were being used were
We had
not good.
a few years ago, we had a plan to attack the sewers, the infiltration and the inflow.
Yeah.
And that kind of pretty much showed where the terracotta was.
And it showed the cast iron and it showed
Yeah, well, we
ductile.
don't have much of that in the sewers, but other force mains. Most of them are either terracotta or
All right,
see.
well, why don't we leave it to Robin and Infomark to come up with a suggestion,
yeah.
That's fine.
okay?
When was the last time we had an I&I study done? It's been probably a while ago.
Yeah, I don't recall.
2 years? Oh,
A
yeah,
few
no,
years,
no,
yeah,
yes,
I don't recall.
I can't remember.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah, I got a couple. Do you have a couple?
I have one on the Noel report.
One thing to also bring up was, I know that it was brought up the last couple board meetings, was the turbidity on train one.
Yes.
So we did recalibrate all the turbidity meters. And also we found a little bit of sediment that had been stuck in that meter, which is what we think was causing it. So we recalibrated and flushed the meter. And since then, it's been back down to normal levels.
All right, that was one of my questions on the viola.
Yeah.
And the other one, it says, on average, unit 3 back pulse is 2 FGD, 2 gallons per minute, lower than the other trains. Have you looked at that one?
For the back pulse on train 3,
Yeah. It's the first note on the recommendations on the viola.
hold on one second. Sorry. No, we can take a look at that. We haven't seen anything going on with train 3, have we?
We haven't noticed anything abnormal with train 3. I missed that recommendation just with everything that's been going on. It's been
I know,
really hectic.
We can take a look at that.
Few weeks, so.
fully understand. But yeah, if you can take a look at that, let Robin know.
Yep.
Okay, that was all I had. I turn it over to Barbara.
Okay, in the work orders. 4894 exhaust fan 4 in the process building.
Yep.
It says that there was a thermostat issue for the fan.
I think we might have even brought this up last meeting, maybe.
Oh,
So, yeah, so one of our exhaust fans, it runs off of a thermostat. Instead of they bypass the
They
thermostat
bypassed it,
and,
yeah.
and we're running it in hand currently.
so Haven't gotten a new thermostat.
We haven't gotten a new thermostat yet, no.
Has there been any issues with temperature control in the building?
Not currently, no. Everything's been running as it should.
And is this the only heater that there's, oh, that's an exhaust fan.
Exhaust fan, yeah.
All the heaters have been replaced and are
Yes.
operational now?
All of the heaters have been replaced and all.
The chemical building and the main?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Another thing is, early on when you talk about the work you're doing at pump station 31,
33?
no, 31,
Oh, I'm sorry.
31.
Oh, okay.
And I was trying to look through the work orders to find out where 31 was.
So, I know exactly what
It
you're
doesn't
talking
look
about.
like
So,
we're checking.
31 is missing
Jefferson.
off of our email list. For whatever reason, it's missing off of it. It's something that has to be added whenever we do pump station checks. We just have to make a note at the bottom, 31 checked, this is what's going on. It's an E1 is what it is.
Oh, it's,
And what you're talking about is during the pump station checks, one of my operators noticed that it wasn't running correctly. When they tried to turn it on, there was a bad grinding and there was a pop and it completely went out. So we went ahead and replaced that, and then we ordered a new spare E1 to keep on site.
Okay. Yeah, it was, I looked back through 4 months to see if I could find where
That is
lift
the
station
only,
31 was.
that's the only pump station that is missing from our checklist.
are you gonna
Something
be
has
able
to
to edit it into the checklist?
Yes, we can edit it
Yeah.
in.
Thank you. And not for you guys, but for the rest of the board. 5048, again, lift station number 17, all the problems we're having there. I think this really supports what else is on the agenda, which is the enforcement, finding of,
Yes,
yes.
I agree with that. That's a huge issue for us, is the racking.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Anyone else?
Any other questions?
No? Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much. And
Thank you,
once
Tom.
again,
Thank you, board.
Thank you very much for the dedication of.
It's been a long few days, but
Are you
we made it
ready
through.
for next
so-
Monday?
And again, we appreciate all the help too.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, moving on.
Disturbing that the emergency generator caused a problem.
I'm not this is the whole one. So, President's report. We've covered most of it with the discussion over the storm, but in the last month I attended the joint meeting with the city council, and I think all the board members were there also. We had a power outage. Those were the two big things. So I'm going to leave everything else to Robin.
Okay, you all received my report in your packet with all our general department activities. One thing I would like to note is we've coordinated with GMB on submissions of notice of intent for repairs, upgrades to Pump Station 6, Pump Station 17 abandonment, and included in that is the Pump Station 34 upgrades. Because the redesign or abandonment of 17 is all going to be, the flow is going to be directed to 34. That was noted on the resiliency report that needed some upgrades, so we're going to put the projects all right together. We also need to look at replacing the stormwater piping that's in Canal Front Park. We've already had some damaged areas at the end, and now the center of the section is collapsing.
Where?
The overfalls.
Near the
The
overfalls.
overfalls.
Near the overfalls.
Oh, that's at the overfalls.
Yeah, it's that big one.
Yeah, that's not the Canal Front Park. That's the overfalls. That's not our property.
Yeah, it's at the overfalls, that's what we submitted.
But the pipe runs in
Yeah.
Canal Front Park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
It comes down to Carpenter Street and right on down to the overfalls. So
Oh.
on the side, side of
I
the
thought it
tennis
was
courts.
That pipe.
On the Little League, yeah, by the Little League bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's not part of the Canal
No,
Front
the
Park?
Canal Front Park really ends where the playground is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought the whole thing was, including the Little
No,
League.
they have a special, the Overfalls has a special easement or something for that. I think the Historic Society has theirs too. They're two,
Thank you for
two
that.
separate properties.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We also put it in NOI, it's not on the report, for replacement of the water line along Polytown Road, the transite pipe that goes from the old Lewes Dairy all the way to the Denrec building. So, yeah, we look to try to get that. That wasn't done as part of the original Polytown Road project. They stopped there at the Daily Market. Or,
So
yeah,
I just
Daily
want
Market,
to
Lewes
point out,
Dairy.
the comment you made in your report is similar to what I discussed before. The tree trimming and the overhead lines maintenance had really shown what the crews have been doing with the limited number of outages.
Yeah, correct. That really has helped. Yep. We do have the after hour calls. There were probably quite a few more on the water department after that freezing time. The staff on call, a lot of times they came for a call and had to complete like 2 or 3 calls at the same time. So even though the 20 number was, times they got called out, they were here at the city doing work when other calls came in. So there was probably a lot more than the 20.
Wow.
As far as our capital projects, development projects, everything's going along good. We're still seeing positive movement on the water tower. The 4th Street project, we are still waiting for the WEAC meeting, which is in March. We submitted for some supplemental funding. The Cape Scope project is continuing to move forwards. Weather's not really helped out too much, but they're making progress.
So when is the WEAC meeting?
March 25th.
25th?
Yep, the same day as our meeting.
Correct.
Yep. As far as staffing, we want to recognize Kim Belair. She's been with the city now, or with BPW for 5 years.
We're sorry for everything.
As far as upcoming meetings, the events, we've already passed the time of our Finance Committee meeting, which was on the 20th. And our next regular meeting is March 25th at 4 o'clock here. Also, to note, there is elections coming up this year, which are held in May. So Chris Keller's been putting out information, getting stuff to election rolls already and squared away.
Has anyone registered, applied to run?
Press. We have 2 positions open. 2 positions open. Yep. And just to follow up on what Matt said and what Tom has said, I got to give the thanks to a lot of people. I mean, our crews came out. It's amazing just what we had to go through just to get 1 or 2 of our electrical staff in here. Rhett, Gary, both of them tried. Gary made it through Milton and had to stop and had to turn around and go back home. Eventually, as Tom said, got picked up by the National Guard, who tried to go get Rhett at the same time. But DelDOT, in their efforts to come help, they had failure of one of their pieces of equipment, which in turn blocked the road. But eventually, when Rhett was able to get in, they did fix the plow and plowed out his road in that, and that's why he was able to come in. Patrick also shoveled himself out and came help from the electric department. From the water department, it was Sean and Vaughn. We had some, I'm feeling it's probably Comcast and some of our electrical spikes. We had some issues. We had to turn the wells on hand, or well 4 on hand, to make sure we weren't getting any data, receiving any data. But Josh, again, came out, took care of it and fixed it. So again, thanks to Josh for being part of the wastewater help and the water. So Sharon, she was right there with us with no power.
No power. For 2 days.
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. And again, Matt from Inframark, Hunter, they did what they could. They were out there working in the weather. Matt made it back down from Milford. Big thanks, as Tom noted in the article for the Cape Gazette, EOC. When we found we couldn't get our guys in on our own, I placed a call to EOC.
You may want to tell what that is.
It's the Emergency Operations Center for Sussex County. The gentleman I spoke to the whole time, his name was Dale, didn't get his last name, but more than helpful. Offered, he said, I'm right here, anytime you want to call, please call me. I kept him because we were trying to get the guys in. He was aware that we were having issues with the circuit down, which included the wastewater plant. He did all he could to try to get everybody out there to get our guys, which showed from the National Guard being there. So
Actually, and I don't think any of us mentioned, we had notified, you had notified the plant notified DENREC as soon as we had this beginning of the spill.
yeah,
DENREC was very, very cooperative. They wanted it cleaned up yesterday.
they wanted the outside cleaned up, which was done by, again, Sean came in with the vac truck, cleaned it up, and Inframark has a company came in that did this last bill, CES, I think is their company's name.
So there was a slight amount that went down, same as the outage the failure in March of last year, but it was not extensive, and we're waiting for the final call from DENREC, but it seems like
From what Matt was telling me, he said DENREC is satisfied with what we did. Yep. So,
they were very cooperative.
Hey, you
correct.
mentioned about thanking DelDOT. How about the National Guard?
Oh, and that was in the article, and
Yeah.
Is that
I did mention that.
yeah,
That's amazing.
correct.
Thank you.
Yeah. Again, phenomenal job,
Yeah.
cooperation, really.
As soon
And the
as
city was involved. We was always on call with the city, and city offered whatever they could do to help during our issues that we were having. So,
Yeah, and as soon as they heard there was an issue with the wastewater treatment plant, they pulled out all stops,
yeah.
all three organizations.
So I'd like to thank a lot of people, really. I hope I didn't miss anybody.
I still think, though, that we've got to figure out a better way to communicate to the residents when there's a failure at the wastewater treatment plant, because the people in my neighborhood had no idea. They probably contributed to the spill because they didn't read their emails, or they're not on the email list. And I had thought after our last joint meeting with the city that there was the ability to use reverse 911, but apparently FEMA has to make that decision.
So, so what we were looking for is, so with reverse 911, it's like a geographical component to it, and because of that geographical component, it is restricted to the state use only. Other companies cannot use it.
Yeah, but can't we notify the state?
We can, they don't have like our maps specifically, so we'd have to, I don't know if they would even be willing to work with us to do that. We can reach out and find
It
out.
seems
I
like
mean-
that's a good thing to do if we're a private, a separate utility.
Correct.
We're getting email blasts
Yeah.
out through the city,
Yep.
Yeah,
but it's email and text messaging.
We did the email blast, but I did reach out to the city, and the city was sending a text out through their program. But the only residents that received it is if the resident signed up for the notify me.
And it also depended upon the internet being up, because the internet was intermittent during.
Yeah, that's true, too.
We could send out doves.
Loudspeakers going through the town. I mean, that's how the town
All right.
criers, we need some town criers.
So let's move on. So the finance reports. Kimberly?
All right, so we have January, revenues and expenses are year-to-date, and cash graphs. For January, overall, we underperformed from budget, which I haven't had to say for quite a few months. It is coming from all three categories. Non-operating revenues and expenses is the largest contributor to that. There are a couple of lines that I wanted to point out. For line number 2, the state park, they use considerably less water than last January. They have been having reading issues for about a year now, and we've replaced the ERT, and that didn't work, and then we finally replaced the meter just this past January. So we'll get more accurate readings from them. So this is something that we're tracking.
That seems considerable.
It is. Yes.
Will we be able to backbill in any way, or there's no registration of what the
The
flow is?
opposite is happening, is that we
Oh.
were registering more water usage. So it's something we're watching. The wastewater treatment plant, they spoke about it earlier, about the compactor, and they have the sprayers running constantly. So that's a shout out to Matt when Jen sent a couple months worth of stuff of, can you figure this out? He went on the hunt. For line number 6, for electric other revenue, we did receive money from 4 transformers that were originally bought for the battery project from Southeastern Transformer.
And the total amount of that was?
32,500.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So,
Number 11, that is mostly on me. I messed up my monthly budget numbers, so that's why you're seeing that discrepancy. Number 13, for professional and contractual for water, we did have paving repairs on Savannah and McPhee. And then lines 24 and number 6 are related with projects not moving as quickly as scheduled when we set the budget at the beginning of the year. Line 26, this is our planning grants and emerging contaminants for 4th Street and Hornquill for the planning grants. We originally budgeted more money in the 4th quarter, but we actually have not had to do as many claims against the PO amounts. And emerging contaminants, we pushed that back a little bit because we were waiting for a year's worth of information before doing more work.
so the change in market value,
Yep, that's.
it says negative here, but in the chart, it's positive.
It is positive.
Yeah.
It's
It is
not a neg-
positive.
it's not
She's
a
got that
negative.
little
It
squiggly in
means
there.
about,
Oh,
yep.
my eyesight, I can't see that. I would suggest not using that.
Yeah. It's about $87,000
Okay.
in a gain for market value. That's what I have for January. For our year-to-date, there's not much that we haven't been over and over again. This is month 10 of 12. We are better than budgeted in all 3 categories. And I just wanted to point out for line 27, we have about $252,000 gain in market value.
I have a request.
Okay?
These dark colors that you use, it's hard to read the numbers. Can we use some lighter color?
So what type of green would we like? Lime green?
A lime maybe, or a...
Well, I
The
can
teal
tell,
was so
I can tell on your print, it is much darker. On ours, it's not.
Yeah.
It is not. It is a very light green.
Yeah, when it prints out, evidently it's,
Yeah.
ooh, yeah.
So
I thought
print-
you
I can see
thought
the
you were
problem
hiding
there.
something from
Yeah.
us.
So we'll check that, yeah. And for cash graphs, we continue to make deposits into the money market account from our operating account as we get the reimbursements from the state on the projects that we have funded.
So the next item we're going to move on to is the item 9, item 9 resolution. So, Mike?
Certainly. So this was discussed at last month's meeting. Following that discussion, we did revise it to incorporate board member comments, which is the version that you see in front of you. There was, between this version going out and tonight's meeting, an additional edit, which I've got language that can be proposed. And I will pull up that email to propose it shortly. But I will remind, while I'm doing that, I will remind the board that this is a resolution. So should you want to take action, it's a 2-step process. And while I pull up that email, is there anything Robin or Sharon wanted to add?
The only thing I did want to add is that the new language that you see in the resolution is almost identical to what Sussex County has. Yeah.
What,
And this,
what's-
just so
Go ahead.
for the record, this resolution is about discharging to our sewer system of toxic elements and limitations of what we'll accept as a wastewater treatment plant. And it proposes a fine associated with it. Just so, for the record, we're on.
And the additional proposed edit, so what I will do is I will read what was requested. If the board wants to incorporate that as an amendment, then when you make the motion, you can say to include the amendment.
maybe, I think, I didn't see the minutes because I think we had a problem getting them produced, but as I recall, I'd recommended that we bring in the BOD, biochemical oxygen demand, and the suspended solids. And that didn't show up, and in its place, the list of other contaminants that I didn't think we were going to put in there, but it's fine. I mean, it doesn't hurt. But we
No,
really do need the BOD.
And you are right.
And TSS.
That is going to be the language.
Yeah, that's,
that we propose.
yeah, I was just trying to clarify why it's
Yep.
So
happening.
yeah, this was revised to pull in the county. But
Right.
what was missing was the requested language. So this would be a new subsection C to be placed between B and C. So after the chart in B would be this new subsection C, which would read, no person or entity shall contribute or cause to be contributed directly or indirectly any waters or wastes into the Lewes BPW sewer system that exert or cause a biochemical oxygen demand, BOD, greater than 280 mgl, a chemical oxygen demand, COD, greater than 300 mgl, or a total suspended solid load greater than 200 mgl, each is determined from analysis of a 24-hour composite sample.
You okay with that, Chris?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad you caught that, thank you. Totally missed that. Okay, so do we have a motion to have the resolution read by title only?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
I guess that does make sense.
Yeah.
Mr. President, members of the board, resolution number 2026-1. A resolution of the Board of Directors of the Board of Public Works of the City of Lewis, Delaware, amending the compilation of policies to provide for penalties to ratepayers who contribute directly or indirectly material that interferes with the operation or performance of the Lewes BPW sewer system. Mr. President, resolution number 26-1 has been read by title only and placed before the board for its consideration and adoption.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution as amended by Mike for the BOD, the new section C?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That was a long effort, but worthwhile.
Yep.
Open discussion and update on the 4th Street project in Burton neighborhood. Robin Davis.
At this point, there's really not a lot of updates, again, from what I said briefly in my report. GMB is continuing to work on the design layout of the 4th Street Park Avenue along with the other Burton neighborhood streets. Supplemental funding was submitted, request was submitted, and the WEAC committee will be meeting on March 25th to review. It looks like, again, no guarantees, but it's favorable. So at that point, once we get approval, usually 6 to 8 weeks for the paperwork to go through. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll move forwards.
Robin, so as you understand it now, we'll make our date to bid stuff for this year and get started in the fall?
GMB's working on trying to come up with some solutions to what could keep us on that schedule. I don't know if Ben wants to provide
Is
any
Fourth,
more information.
has the city done Fourth Street's street design? Is that good? And I know Park Avenue is an issue, but where's that?
So Ben Hurd, GMB. Generally, with the idea that this supplemental funding is going to be favorable, you know, we've been working with the city and the board to look at phasing the project in a slightly different manner than how we are intending to do it to try and meet the original schedule or be as close to it as possible. The idea would be to phase the project into 4 phases with the utilities being phase 1, so that way we could get those going and get those complete, because that's the impetus of the project, is the utilities on Park Avenue and 4th Street. Then moving into phase 2 would be the streetscape of that same limits. Phase 3 would be the utilities for the remainder of the Burton subdivision, followed by the streetscape of that same area.
But I think-
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry, finish.
I was going to say, phasing in that manner, I think will allow us to kind of focus effort and get the utilities to a final point, to get those out while the city finalizes its thoughts on the streetscape for that same scope, as well as, you know, the phase 3 and the phase 4, trying to get a little bit of progress on that as well, trying to focus the efforts a little bit.
Can you put schedules or timeframes to them?
Yeah, does the city know what that date is? And
Yeah, I'm concerned about the same thing. The street design and the BPW design are interactive. And we don't know what the street design is yet. You know, we've made extreme preferences, but, you know, we don't know where. I mean, if they're going to move the entire streetscape, that means moving the entire stormwater line. And that becomes a real problem.
can I, are we talking about 4th Street or are we talking about Park Avenue?
I'm talking about the project.
Okay, but, I mean, is 4th Street settled, do we think?
I can't say 4th Street is 100% settled, but it's pretty close, yes.
Nobody's arguing about it
Not that I'm aware of.
loudly. Okay, so the loudness, if you will, is Park Avenue.
Correct.
Okay, and that's not settled.
And the only thing on Park Avenue that needs to be done utility-wise is water main. There's a small section of sewer right at the bend of Johnson and Park, but the main impetus is water on that street.
And stormwater.
Well, the stormwater on that street is satisfactory. Like the line size is big
If
enough.
they don't move the streetscape. I mean, if they decide, like they've been talking about, of narrowing the street and putting in trees, that presents a real problem for us, I believe.
I mean, as I'll say, as I'm aware, it's not going to affect over top of the stormwater main that's there now.
But you're doing both of them, so you should know.
Well, Andrew's doing this.
Yeah,
Well, I mean the same firm. I'm not saying.
Yeah, we're tag teaming, but
So
as I'm aware of, we're not narrowing the street to put something over top of the existing stormwater main.
Okay, I'm just telling you what I heard last.
Okay.
I didn't get all 4 phases. Could you repeat
So
them again?
phase 1 would be Park and 4th Street utilities.
Okay.
Phase 2 would be Park and 4th Street streetscape. Phase 3 would be the remainder of the neighborhood utilities. And then phase 4 would be the remainder of those utilities, or remainder of the neighborhood as the streetscape.
So what happens to 4th Street in Phase 1? Does it just go to Park until Phase 3 happens?
The original scope goes on 4th from Savannah all the way to Burton, so it would cover that whole stretch.
So that's part of Phase 1?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
But like Tom is saying, the scape is going to help drive other things, our utilities. So you can't finish that completely, the first phase, until you know what the streetscape is. So it's,
I'll say we're very confident in what's going on streetscape wise on 4th Street. And we'll be very confident by the time of bidding of what's going to happen to streetscape wise on Park.
Okay. That's,
I
they're
take
two
your-
different phases, you're saying, but
Correct.
that's really the same design.
Correct. It's the same design. It's
Yeah,
trying to provide an avenue to do utilities first, the impetus of the project, followed by streetscape.
Are they going to be bid as separate packages?
We're trying to, I'll say the intent is to put it all as one package.
Yeah.
We're trying to work through that kind of thought process of how that all comes together.
You're not thinking about two different contracts.
No, I think that would get too
Yeah, well,
messy.
yeah,
Well, and also it will give us, reduce our leverage over, making a big project for a contractor.
Yes,
versus-
oh, sure, yeah. It wouldn't make sense.
So,
I just want to
Ben-
clear that up.
I trust what you're saying. However, this has changed so many times. Until it gets cemented and we see something on plans, I am very, very iffy.
Understood.
So if, the sooner we can get street plans from the city so that it'll reassure us on what we're doing.
Understood.
Robin,
We've had discussions about how this is going to affect any type of changing in the street, and we've made our concerns known about the utilities.
And you talked to Andrew, right?
And where we would like
Oh,
to.
regularly,
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
almost on
So
a daily
hope-
basis.
Yeah, but they're not two different things.
No,
So-
we're both looking at all the
Sure.
things, making
That's
sure
the only way
things
you
are
can do it, yeah.
coordinated and,
Yeah.
yes.
I have nothing against, Andrew's doing a great job also, but, and I know that this public comment and everything else. If you can just double check with Andrew and get back to Robin, we
Sure,
really appreciate it.
certainly will, yes.
Okay. Any other questions on?
I don't know what we just heard. I mean, I'll just have to go to see one of the meetings that they're having with the public about what Park Avenue looks like and catch up.
Okay. All right. Open forum, general discussion on acceptance of BPW Finance Committee's recommendation to utilize staff development financial framework for forecasting and budget planning. Mr. Nichols,
Oh, me?
Ricardo,
Finance Committee has been working very hard for more than 2 years, putting together a single 10-year framework to combine and track all the factors affecting cash flows. And to be used for budgeting, financial planning, policy review and creation, risk assessments, challenging consultants and potentially reducing consultant costs. The document has been vetted by the committee and has made a comparison for the past 2 years with our auditor's audit and has proven to have no material differences. Also, the plan has been vetted with the frameworks, inputs and outputs, and what-if scenarios to ensure that the information is flowing through the model as anticipated. we reviewed and agreed to recommend this framework to be used by BPW staff as the budgeting tool in our January 23rd meeting, which is available for viewing online in the recording with complete documentation, and further discussed on February 20th to encourage board members to meet with the finance manager to review the documents to further their knowledge and understanding and benefits of the model. On your place is a sample of the 4 cash flow summary pages generated from the framework and for the next 10 years of capital budget for all 4 utilities and their projections. Accordingly, the Finance Committee is recommending the board approve 1, that the staff use the framework for the previously mentioned purposes. And number 2, that the finance manager presents every quarter after Finance Committee review the summary and capital budget pages from the model, which you have here. That's my
So
story.
I had one question and one statement. First, how many of the board members have actually met with Kim?
Well, I think I met with Richard early on.
Right, and with
talked to
Mike
Kim a lot.
Mike Hogan,
Yeah.
who's a board member.
Yeah.
Um,
I have,
But Tom, you probably have not seen it at all, or you've heard about it.
No, I've been
or
briefed
a
on
long
it. all.
time
No, I've
ago,
seen it.
but you've been very busy on,
But, no, I mean, you went over with me a while ago.
Yeah.
So
all right.
I commend the committee's efforts, and I really think we have to thank Mike Hogan.
Yes,
His expertise has been phenomenal, and he's doing it pro grata, and has really developed what appears to be a very good tool. Now, I have not dug into the details. I left that to you guys.
but is Mike Hogan and Kimberly Brillier, the team of those back and forth, Mike had to learn about the different utilities, and it's been very, very fruitful over this entire period of time of back and forth, developing and perfecting this documentation.
Yeah, but we all know Kim walks on water, so,
Yes,
I mean, so I didn't think it was necessary to say that.
But it is necessary.
Well, she does, and
Without
Mike
getting
does
too
too.
wet.
But what you have in front of you is page 4 through 7 or so. It's a high-level summary that
Right,
compares the past audits and so on, as Richard said. And then we just got jumped to give you a sample of page 47, 48, 49.
capital improvements.
Yeah, but that doesn't take you into details such as, here's how many 5/8" water meters we have, and here's how many 1-inch water meters we have. And I really think it's worth, not in this session, but in the near future, each of the board members sitting down with all 50 pages of this spreadsheet and going through them, so you understand what's in there. Because it's got rate increases in it, it's got, Kim is saying, okay, there's this many 5/8" water meters, and now this new development is coming on, and next year there'll be that many more, and it kind of rolls up. And then you say, here's the revenue from each one of those. Now, you can either high level just trust Richard and Kim and Mike, and so on, but I think your experience will be a lot more informed and richer if you spend 2 hours, looking at all the pages. And I would recommend that you do that either with Kim or with two at a time or something like that.
I totally agree. I mean, they've put a hell of time, and we have probably one of the most brilliant guys working on this thing to put this together with them. It'd be a shame if we didn't spend the time getting to know this system so we can make decisions from it rather than just take recommendations.
Well,
Nothing wrong with that, but
and you learn stuff.
yes.
I mean, you just learn an awful lot about how this all goes together. And then one other thing the Finance Committee did that shows up big time in the budget is they voted to change the allocations for admin. And it makes a big difference between the various product lines. And so I just think you ought to set up the time to do it. And
So one-on-one,
yeah, or two at a time or whatever works, but you'll be a lot more, A, more comfortable, and B, just confident in what's in here. So if Kim moves it from here to there, we know why.
Okay, but so on the immediate, oh, sorry, Barbara, go ahead.
So when you say this tracks with the audit reports, you mean the financial statements from the audit reports? Okay, because I was looking for.
So that's actually page 2 and 3 in the packet, but I didn't print that out for you, but
Oh,
it's within 2.4%. That's the biggest variance of the year end.
So, I mean, this is a living document to be revised and updated, but the action today is to approve or get a motion to approve using this, correct?
Correct. And then next month, it's to use it to approve the budget that
Well,
resulted.
I mean, that goes hand in hand, yeah.
Yeah, the budget has already been reviewed once in the February 20th meeting, but it was only through the third quarter. And we want to get the rest of the year in and have got scheduled a similar meeting for the Financial Committee on March the 13th to have the final report so that we can make the recommendation for the final budget, full year budget to the board for the March board meeting.
Okay, so I'm going to propose a motion and you can modify it as you like. Do I have a motion to approve the use of the Finance Committee's recommendation for the financial framework forecasting and budgeting tool, including its use in developing the future budgets for this, or the remainder of the budgets for this year?
Richard,
You
Aye.
want to amend that, or?
No, make that the first.
So.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Second is a recommendation that this package be issued on a quarterly basis as the summary after the Financial Committee has reviewed that information.
I absolutely agree. So that's the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No,
I
thank you
guess we
for
don't need a motion to agree to taught by Kim and.
No,
But you're,
it's an invitation,
we're
and
gonna,
encouragement.
but I think we should.
It's gonna be a
I had a
sub-quorum,
question.
so it's fine.
Okay,
I have a
Question?
question on the motion. Will this replace the regular quarterly financial reports that Kim's been doing?
yes.
Okay.
So I think the intent is to replace all of the reports in the financial. So you would only get a report quarterly now.
Quarterly.
Yes, I think the plan is that you're going to provide notes under the treasurer's report at agenda meetings. So you'll still get a little update, but we're not going to formally present on it. We'll only present quarterly. Is that correct, Kim?
Okay, very helpful explanation.
Yeah, and the finance committee is the primary oversight, so,
Right.
and we have more than enough qualified people there.
Okay.
Okay,
And I vote yes.
so, moving on. Item 12, open forum and general discussion on Sussex County on potential upgrades for Pump Station 4. So, Robin, do you want to lead us through this one?
I think Ben has got the information on this. Evening, Ben Herman, G&D. I was thinking the county was gonna be here to kind of talk about this a little bit as well. So I'm gonna try and do my best for this. So the county, Hans reached out to, well, I'll say the county reached out to us, G&B, and the board to meet regarding your guys' agreement with them to ultimately push for the county. We met, Sharon and I met with Hans
2 weeks ago.
to talk about, what the county's intent is for how it wants to, complete that flow. With the intent being putting essentially a new force main from pump station 4 out to, basically the entrance of Schofield, to connect into the county network as the first means of a method to get the flow to the county. As well as renovations to pump station 4 to create that, transmission facility to get your flow. I guess, the county is asking, I don't know how the right word to phrase it, to say this.
The county is looking at, we need upgrades to the Pump Station 4 currently. So instead of us doing those upgrades and then the county coming back in and saying, well, we want to do something completely different, let's go ahead and do those upgrades
The first time.
the first time before the actual turnover of the new treatment plant. So I think what the county is requesting is that we say, G&B, work with the county, get us a design, we'll work with it. And I think it's still going to be on that 80-20 split like we talked about in the agreement for the new wastewater treatment plant.
Has it been decided to replace it rather than, to upgrade it rather than replace it? Is that?
Pump Station 4,
yeah.
yeah, it's an upgrade. Pump Station 4 is an upgrade.
They think they can do that?
And is it just, I thought I heard the inclusion of not only the upgrade, but a line extending,
You are correct, yes.
Tying to the county, yeah.
So a decision's been made to use 4 rather than 8. And early on, we were talking about one or the other. So that's what's been decided.
I thought
4.
both 4 and 8 were going to be bifurcated into the line.
Correct.
I thought so,
The county's
too.
intent is to still have, I'll say, I don't speak for the county. The county's intent that I'm aware of is to still have pump station 4 and 8 manifold together and ultimately push flow to the county.
Where is it going to be manifold? Is that this?
Right at pump station 4 is
It's
the
got,
intent.
so they'll bring 8 up to 4.
Correct.
But not into 4.
Yeah.
The
That's
exit
the entrance. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not pumping forward, we're,
And I'm hoping to utilize the
remember
pipe
that
that goes from 4 to the wastewater plant in a reverse fashion.
Yeah.
so they don't have to run a whole new pipe from 8 under the canal.
That makes sense.
And will the upgrade in 4 require any modification, change to the piping that goes under the canal?
I don't think, again, right now, it's flowing from 4 to the wastewater plant. The way, I think the initial, or the concept is that piping will be used, but now in reverse, coming from 8 to 4.
And it
And-
won't
and the
need to
answer
be
to that-
changed?
No, it's
And
supposed it's going
The
to
flow
stay the
will be
same.
less
Under
than
canal.
it is now.
It's just that it's going to have to be modified now, I think, the way where it tees into, or manifolds, as the effluent comes out of 4.
Yeah, but, I mean, when we're pumping 4 forward to 8, to the plant, that's a lot higher flow than pump station 8 handles. So the piping that we just installed, is more than adequately sized. Is that right, Robin?
Yeah, it's just, the county feels it's fine. They've already looked into it. It's, the concept is that's how to do it.
Because the force main from 4, I picture it going like through the wetlands to the plant, not to 8.
It doesn't go to 8, no, it goes to the plant.
But it goes through the wetlands.
Correct.
Yes, correct.
So how are they going to use that line for anything? It doesn't seem like it is.
They're going to try to use, is what I get, the majority of that line that's going to the plant and connect into it somehow.
That's it.
From 8.
That's from down American Legion and come back.
Yeah, and they have a plan. They're gonna use part of the line and then they're gonna tie into it. This pump station 8 will be moved, like we had
Well,
planned
it'll be a
to.
new one.
Yeah, it'll be a new
Yeah.
one on higher
Yeah,
ground.
that makes sense.
So, and then they were then going to, and I don't remember the exact routing, but they were going to, at some point, truncate the line going to the wastewater treatment plant and tie in midstream. And I think it was outside the wetlands, or,
It was outside the wetlands and outside of the canal.
and they was,
Yeah.
I know the county's looked at it.
Yeah, okay,
We should get more information.
Yep. Again, I think the idea is that we are directing GMB to work with the county to get these
That's a good
little
picture,
details
sure.
hammered out.
Yeah.
Because I know that transmission line, there's kind of some questions whether we're going to go along Gill's Neck or, come down by the trail. So there's still some uncertainty on that
Are we,
end.
were we still using the water line for something? Was that-
We had looked at that
Yeah,
six or so months ago, and I think follow-up conversations with the county as well as DHSS deems that unfeasible.
okay.
Basically, because the intent was to line that, that main, and the way that you have to line it, you have to cut into that main every probably 400-ish plus or minus feet. The separation between the two mains vertically and horizontally is much less than what DHSS would permit. So they said basically,
Forgot it.
forget it. And
I
the
think,
county
I
agreed.
thought the big issue was the separation of the water and the sewer line, with the new sewer line, would remain totally encasing one of the lines, and then it becomes a maintenance problem.
Correct, in both counts, yeah. DHSS does not prefer encasement of lines now, they don't like that. So.
And we didn't push it because, it presents a maintenance issue down the line.
Sure. Okay. Good.
So, I guess the only thing to note is that we are gonna write a secondary agreement with the county because we're moving pump station 4 up from where it was originally scheduled. So it's just a formality to make sure that, it's all clean. But,
The schedule, you're saying, not physical. The pump full.
yeah. So, I don't think there's any action on this then.
Do you need to direct?
No, I think it's just direction.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank.
Don't go away. Open forum and general discussion on the Kennedy property, the developers agreement. So this has been before us several times, and
No, I don't think you've ever seen it. It's brand new.
well, actually, not the,
Not the
but the
development agreement.
the issue.
Yeah,
Correct.
yes.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
So,
As we all know, the Kennedy property is out on Gills Neck Road. Was one parcel owned by Mr. Kennedy. This is in the process of being sold, if not, it's been sold. They went through the city process to get it subdivided into 3 separate parcels. We're working with the developer to get water and sewer to this property. 2 of the parcels are going to be buildable, from what I'm gathering, and it appears, if all goes well, the 3rd parcel, which is going to be in the back, is going to be donated to the city.
So 2 parcels on Gills Neck.
2 parcels on Gills Neck, yep, yep.
Yep.
And there's going to be a shared access to the back parcel, which is going to be donated to the city, or that's what the proposal is. The water and sewer itself, again, needs to be installed. The water will be coming off of the existing water main on Gills Neck Road, one curb stop to each property. The sewer's a little bit more difficult. Since the only sewer that runs in front of the property is the force main that the county uses to send flow to us. They are looking to and designing a force main system that comes from a manhole on Slay Avenue, runs through the alley, underneath the bike path, through an easement that's going to the back of the 2 properties, and they're going to have E1 pumps there that the property owners will be responsible for. We'll be responsible for the lines. We're working on getting easements, and you got the easements for everything. As part of this is, again, with anything with infrastructure that's going to be turned over to the city, we have to do a development agreement. This is normally, what it is just basically our standard form. The developer has asked for some concessions from us since the project is so small. We have, Mike has been involved. We had meetings with the developer. Sharon has also, while I was out on vacation, had follow-ups, talking with the developer and Mike. We've come up with what we feel is the recommendation for the changes. Some of it is the escrow money. Normally for the bigger projects, we ask a deposit of $50,000. Since this is only 2 lots, we recommend just reducing that amount to $10,000 as noted in the agreement. Also, there is a cap. They would like to have a cap on the fees. We've spoken with GMB on what their thoughts are for the inspection fees and review fees and stuff like that, and we're comfortable with the $35,000 that we put in on the agreement. So overall, basically, like I said, the agreement itself is our standard agreement, just with some few modifications.
So I've lost track of the water to the potential city side.
The city's working with the developer on getting that adjusted. That's why you do not see the city. Normally our development agreement is city and BPW combined. There is no city infrastructure being done as part of this project, and the city's working with the developer on potentially getting a water line and maybe some concessions to the city. But that's going to be on a separate agreement through the city and the developer.
How did we come up with the cap on the inspection fees and so on?
We spoke with GMB, got an estimate on what they feel the number of inspections they'll need for the minimal impact of the water and sewer being installed.
That concerns me, I guess,
Yeah, me too.
that we have a cap on it.
Understand, and that's why it's come before the board to, see if they're, how the board wants to.
How that happens.
Yeah. I also had a question about, what about stormwater? Is that covered by this? Is there any?
It's just individual lots. The stormwater is going to be running on, I'd say, on Gills Neck Road. there's not going to be, again, because there's no streets being put in as far as this, for this development.
Going back to the water for the city portion, the line that's coming, that we're tapping into is going to be adequately sized for the two homes and for the needs of the city?
Again, we're keeping the city line, proposed city line, separate from what the developer's doing. The developer is putting lines in for individually for the two properties. That's it. There's going to be two service lines, just like a regular house.
Okay, so.
That's going to be
there'll
independent of
There'll be
any.
a third line.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Yep.
I thought you'd bring one line in.
No,
Bifurcate.
we requested that each property
All right.
has its own water.
The only thing I would add, and excellent summary, the only thing I would add is that the developer came forward with a lot of requested concessions. We had a meeting, we talked through it, staff came through with this recommendation. So this recommendation is staff's recommendation after going through and agreeing to some and not agreeing to many. So that conversation and that response went back to the developer. We have not heard from the developer in terms of whether it's acceptable to the developer. This was on today's agenda, and so our recommendation is, should it be the will of the board, to approve the development agreement and authorize staff to work with the developer to finalize and sign. If they come back with something, or there's something that staff didn't recommend and they want more, then it could be coming back to you. But I just want to let you know that's where it is in the process.
But that doesn't address what I'm hearing from the board of the cap.
I'm just saying with the background.
And the cap on attorney's fees, that seemed unreasonable.
Normally, in the development agreement, you have that number that's in there already anyway.
Correct.
So it's we determine whether it's $1,000, $500 or whatever, using what Mike
It's the actual cost is usually what you see. So when the developer agreement comes to you, the attorney fees is actually what he has already spent on it already. So that one's, we're pretty confident on that one.
Okay, but if they come back and they want more, then Mike's going to have to look at it again, and then that cap may be.
Yes, so what I will say on the attorney's fees for the development agreement, that cap is, we're pretty confident in that cap. I mean, that's, because again, it's going to be actual up to that cap, and that cap is on the high end for what we see on the development agreement.
Okay.
Well, the other thing you don't want to do, I mean, this is 2 lots, okay? You don't want to turn this into a big back and forth. And your negotiating strategy is low. If you have this approved by them with, you probably likely to get a signature sooner without going back and forth. I mean, correct.
Yeah, and while I agree, I understand the concern about caps on the fees. If GMB is confident in that number being that cap number, I think, as Bob just said, for 2 lots.
How often do we give a cap on a fee like that?
As far as I know, this is the first one.
But the only reason, and again, and so and in many ways, this was the response on this one as well. So the form is the form is the form. The form is the form for a reason, and the board has the form. The difference here is it's very, very rare that you will get a development agreement for a 2-lot property, just because you have the development agreement in play when you're extending utilities to the property. And typically, if you're extending utilities to the property, you're dealing with a much larger development, which is why you have the development agreement that you have. It's more difficult to predict caps, which is why we typically never recommend in favor of caps. The difference here really relates to the scale of the development and the fact that it is such a small development that it becomes, staff has greater confidence in the estimates. And that is the difference, but this is not the typical course because it's often difficult to predict what that cost will be.
Just eyeballing it, one of these lots is bigger than the thing opposite Dairy Queen that's going to have 13 homes in it. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we ought to just, I'll make a motion to direct staff to approve this and
Work with the
get in
developer
line,
to
work
decide.
with the developer for any minor changes if justified, but otherwise largely disagreement.
So, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that's for discussion.
Discussion?
Discussion.
I like the fact that in paragraph 2.20, the developer is recognizing that BPW is reasonable.
They're not talking about me.
Developer shall fully reimburse the reasonable BPW the actual cost of said emergency repair.
2.20,
Page 7.
reimburse the BPW, I don't know,
The reasonable BPW.
it's like halfway down.
Yeah.
2.20, yeah. 2.0. There's the word
Oh, I got you.
reasonable added in there right before.
It's not in the right spot.
Yeah, it's not.
And we're not saying we were
It's
reasonable.
basically reasonable fees, reasonable
Yes.
cost is what they actually,
Yeah, I
So
see.
they wanted,
reasonable actual cost. I
The
think.
reasonable actual cost, that's
Yeah.
correct. Yes,
Correct.
we will make that edit.
But we are
I'd
reasonable.
like to, why don't you have to bring that up?
okay, with that change, I think we might be ready to.
Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Okay. 4-1, press opposed.
Now, why were there two copies of it?
One was a clean and one was a red line. Some people like the red line, some people like to see it clean.
Okay, moving on to 14, capital budget. Kimberly?
You have before you the 5-year capital budget that you are used to seeing. I did color code the document to show funding in green, yellow for placeholders or waiting on estimates, and purple for date uncertainty for developer infrastructure. We've met with GMB, the city, BPW departments to update the document. Over the 5 years, it is nearly $70 million in projects with about $48 million in outside funding, resulting in about $21 million coming from our funds. This and the additional 5 years of projects are used in the model for the Finance Committee, and it is not showing cash flow issues until 2030, 2031, which is fiscal year 31. So that should be enough time to adjust rates for these projects. This is just the first presentation, and it'll be brought back next month for formal acceptance. And it will be reviewed again in the Finance Committee meeting on the 13th. So I can still follow up with the city and GMB once again, and I'll bring it back with the 10-year framework, which is part of the paperwork that you got earlier. And I was not going to go through every line because there is a lot of projects on here, but if you do have specific questions, now would be the time.
I have some.
I do too.
Okay, with the water, saltwater monitoring wells, we're gonna be doing, I think, 3 or 4 of those. right?
Three.
Right.
Is $35,000 enough for that?
We are utilizing some of the wells, existing wells we have.
Yeah,
That-
but to modify them, bring them back,
Yep. We've been talking to Rick from AC Schulte's, and they feel comfortable that that'll work.
okay, it just sounds low.
Yeah,
to-
understand.
To develop, not
Yeah.
enough from scratch.
Yeah, correct.
Well, one of the wells is the one in across the street.
Has that been put in? Is that
One of
in
them's at
now?
one of them's at Tower Hill, where we did the test well out there at Tower Hill. It's at the depth that's good enough, so basically saves that.
Listen, I was asked that question.
They have to be, the monitoring well that's being put out in Mitchell's Corner, it has to be roughly about the same size as or same depth as our existing wells, which are about 150 feet.
And how about Tower Hill?
It's about the same thing, yep. It's all, because
So
Denver's
They're all
requiring
gonna
that.
be, and even the old ones at Schley Avenue,
Yeah, they're looking at to make sure to verify and all that stuff, to make sure it's usable.
are they that deep now, do you know?
Yeah, I think so, yep.
Okay. All right, it just looked low to me.
Yep.
I see on hold by the city, so, on several things. Is that, what's that all about?
So those were, you're looking at like Manila?
Yeah, Manila was the first one, I guess.
So those were a couple of those projects, and Monroe was the other one, I believe, in Railroad, that when the Burton project came up, we said that those would get pushed.
So,
So they
That note
are,
can actually come off now.
yeah, so we did meet with the city, and I think we agreed on fiscal year 30 that we would look at those projects. So, because I think they were either this year or next year, so we didn't push them a couple years.
what do you mean?
So the on hold can be moved.
Yeah, I can take that comment off now
Oh,
that we
comment.
agreed on
Okay,
it.
the comment,
okay. I thought you meant the project.
No,
Still on there.
I was interested about the granular activated carbon too, and where the money where that is going to come from. Are they in the rates, that those big ticket items, are they in our rates now? So
So
we're going to spend 2 million this year and 7 million for the next 2 years?
we've already got grant funding for about $2 million. So that's what's in this year, and we continue to go back asking for more money.
And
to-
do we think we're going to get that? Is that the idea?
We are hoping.
They're big numbers.
They are encouraging. They reached out to us and said, hey, we've got another round. Do you want another
Is this
round?
DNREC?
It's DHSS? Yeah.
Any federal money involved in those, you know? No?
The funding comes from the federal government ultimately, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they.
All right. I hope we get it.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
very good. I gotta turn this over.
Yes.
Come on, Brad.
I can't read upside down very well. On the electric underground Bay Breeze and Burton subdivision, I didn't know Bay Breeze was getting underground.
Bay Breeze has been on the capital plan for several years, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
So that's gonna happen.
Is that
we-
similar to Ocean View, that project?
Well, there may be an opportunity as part of the Del Dot Roundabout project. Now, because some of those utilities might have to be slid because of what they're doing in that area for a roundabout. Normally what'll happen though is Del Dot will pay to relocate the utilities, but won't pay the full amount if we want to underground them.
Why are we doing, we have so many places we can underground, why are we doing Bay Breeze?
Rhett seems to think that's important to do out there because I guess the overhead wires that he had. I don't have a full explanation on, but Rhett feels the need that that has to be done.
Yeah, this is coming from the electric department.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I was wondering about Jefferson. Is that Jefferson Apartments or Jefferson Avenue? Undergrounding?
Probably apartments.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Jefferson Court is probably, it's a newer, I'm going to go on a limb, probably say it's already underground. Probably. I don't know that for sure, so.
And Burton, has that been decided definitely?
No, that's what we will need to look at when we start pricing out for the other streets, the Burton neighborhood. We're getting a price for the Park Avenue portion.
The Burton to Sussex
Yeah.
is different.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah, it's-
that's
it's-
going through the park.
Oh,
know?
yes, yes.
Yes.
Right.
But the Burton neighborhood is also on there, correct?
No.
No, it's
No.
wastewater, I'm sorry, it's
No,
wastewater.
no, it's just Burton to Sussex
Okay,
that we
okay,
were
okay.
looking to underground.
Right.
That's the
right.
pole line that goes behind the school property and Mariners Retreat.
I think that's all I had.
I had a question about, I didn't know we had transite pipes. Do we monitor for asbestos in the water?
I don't think so.
You know, that's been a topic for you.
What line are you on, Barbara?
Line, where is it? Line 7.
You know, that's been a discussion for years, and I guess it's been determined, or at least they think they've determined, that it's like with asbestos anyplace, if you don't disturb it,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Okay.
If you start cutting into it, then
Right,
you have problems.
but it's also deterioration over time.
Yeah.
No, I
it's-
think Press is right.
Yeah, there's not been a big push.
Just the aging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transite is completely stable. It's, if it's weathered or braided or any other reasons. But transite, I mean, I'm used to is, well, a solid transite is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they had versions of it. There was something like the reinforcement in it and so forth. But it's still all solid.
Yeah, I'm used to transite plates, so we use them a lot.
Yeah, I'm
Back
used to
in the old days.
transite in lab
Yeah,
lab uses. Yeah, but
welding, anyway, all right?
I want to note that that line, the Pilot Town Road project that you're talking about should be in green because we did apply for an NOI for that.
Well,
I had a couple others, but,
go ahead. I got a general comment later.
okay. So we've got the PowerPoint lead service line, and then there's another line, 14, lead service line replacement. Utilities that where,
So what we have submitted NOI is we need to have our lead inventory complete by 2027. During that process, we are going to determine where all those lead lines are. So that's why it's kind of general there, and we're going to be replacing those every year as we find them. That's part of our 10-year plan.
By
Yeah, because at
2037.
2037, we have to have them all replaced.
And you got to do 10% every year.
and what's the valves project? Line 8, East Market, Beta Anglers, and Cedar valves.
The cedar valves are more that to be able to isolate when we start replacing the water line. We're going to put the valves in. There's a lot of valves that are probably not operational, old, or the distance. So the plan was to put, I think that was always been on the capital plan for several years also, to put some valving in when we do replace the piping on Cedar Street.
So along those lines, we've discussed this in the past, but we seem to be finding that we have a lot of valves that don't shut off, like the one on Savannah.
Well, yeah.
And we had debated, and there are pros and cons to both, routine operation of valves versus let them be. I think we should probably reevaluate, because we seem to be having a lot more valve issues that are preventing us from making repairs.
Yeah, again, it's like several things that have been delayed in anything being done, and now we're somewhat paying the price.
At
Well,
least,
the one that comes to mind is the Manila Savannah project, or Manila or
McPhee.
McPhee.
yeah,
But there were other ones also.
it'd be good just to know where they are that are problematic. We don't have to replace them, at least test them to see if you can get them to move if they
I
can't.
saw
And
that
that's
there was,
correct, but
We
then,
don't
yeah, a lot of
have to-
times when, again, the one downfall of that is you start messing with them, next thing you know, they leak, and then you're replacing
Yeah.
them right away.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a balance, I get,
Yeah.
yeah, I saw that there was something on the capital improvement thing about getting valve exercisers. So maybe that's why that's there.
But the McPhee one, the valve operated, it just wouldn't fully close. So, even moving it, I mean, it proves it's not seized, but it still doesn't tell you the seat conditions. I'm not sure what the best industry practices are for that.
Yeah, we can look into it, I can speak to them.
If you can go for best practices.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I had a question about the Schley substation transformers. Is that replacements or upgrades or new capacity, or that's
Yes.
way at the end?
Yes.
Yes,
What
I
line is that?
believe it is
74.
upgrade.
Upgrades?
Yeah,
Replacements or added capacity?
replacements.
Replacement.
Yeah, we're reaching the limit of where one transformer can take the whole load. And the whole purpose of having two transformers is redundancy. So, and the lead time on transformers, I don't know what it is now, but it's typically 24 to 36 weeks, if not longer. And, when the supply chain issues happened, it was over a year.
I
So
remember
we-
that, yeah. Those are my questions. Your turn,
Well-
Bobby.
Okay, I think this is great, but,
There's always a but for Bob.
well, for example, there's a vac truck on here. I don't even know where it is. But I wrote to Kim and said, I'm surprised you can get a vac truck for $235,000. And she said, well, not really. You can't. It's
Got it two different
It's
places.
$750,000, but we've already spent that
665.
other part. And there was another on here about the water tower, $3.9 million. Great, because we authorized almost $8 million. And it seems to me like, sorry to say this, we need another column, like the size of the total project, or how much has been spent on it so far, or something like that.
So with the document that you will be getting,
I understand
next
where it
month,
is,
it'll
but,
be 2
I'm
years
half
prior.
blind already.
Yeah, it'll be
And-
2 years prior to
Okay.
show.
And then my other sort of comment for yet another column is why we're doing this. The question Richard usually asks, but we're doing this to the transformers because we're making it so that
I'm
one
not
can
sure
run the whole
putting
thing.
that level of detail into a financial chart. I mean, that's the
I'm
things for
fine, but it ought to
discussion.
be somewhere.
I mean, that's what the purpose of the meetings are, to discuss. But,
Well-
and I don't know that this needs to be modified since we're going to the new format.
Well, I think we ought to know how much the whole thing was. The water
Right,
tower,
But with the new product, we'll have that, because it's a 2 year
Have 2 years
retrospective.
Only if it's something that takes
but
longer.
the new model won't say, we're doing this because.
No. But I think that's the purpose of the board meeting and calling staff.
Well,
I think anything you write is going to be misinterpreted or not answer the question you're thinking of.
that's
That's
a lot
my,
of work to
yeah. That's,
a lot of
that's,
projects.
have a
that's my
discussion
opinion.
about each one.
Yeah. And it's just going to raise more questions. So I encourage you, any questions you have, you call Robin, Sharon,
you'll
Kim.
be sorry.
I'm throwing it off on them. I'm not sorry.
Might it be possible to use an icon, a symbol, on some of the projects that have a similar reason, like aging out, or not something that requires detailed written description and a lot of text, but
I'm going to leave that to the staff to decide.
Old pipe, pipe failing. Regulatory.
That could be something quicker to do of failures, aging, capacity.
some sort of category rather than trying to say, well, we voted on this 2 years ago and, it was 17,000 then.
I'm kind of more okay with that, but I think
All right.
forcing writing something for, how many lines is this thing? 117 lines is,
See, and we've got the format to 51 pages.
You sound proud.
Well, I mean, I just think we ought to know why we're doing these things.
And it could actually be in the title. Yeah, rather than another column.
actually, I like Kim's idea about, Richard's idea about item 1, item 2, item 3, and then just having notes and keeping them very, very broad and succinct.
And small.
And very, very fine type.
Okay, and my last question is, who can I talk to about AMI to be educated?
So actually, that's not on the agenda today, but we need to put that on the agenda. This outage was once again another perfect example where we had no visibility into what was going on in our system and where the outages were. So, I mean,
So last meeting, you guys gave us staff some direction on which we need to go. So because we are waiting for the fiscal year, those proposals will be coming back to you at the beginning of the fiscal year. And we will be determining which route we want to go.
by the way, Austin asked what we were doing. I fully agree with you. I mean, this has dragged on many more years than I would have liked.
Yeah.
I mean, I was ready to vote on it, or I did vote on it many times, so.
I've got a couple more, I think. Item 60, Marina Drive lining. I don't think where Marina Drive is. Pipe that would be.
That's out on, Marina Drive is out in Pilot Town Village. Similar to the project that we did on Ocean View. Yeah, just, it's like a street down, or
Okay.
2 streets down. I think it's a street down.
And I guess there's like 55, 56 with $0. Why are they even on the things we were thinking about?
We haven't got estimates for them yet.
Oh, that's all?
Yep.
Yeah, those are the ones we discussed earlier.
Yeah. Okay,
There are placeholders to keep that in mind still.
okay. That's all I have.
But I didn't think we were going to line the oxidation ditches.
I believe you're 100% correct, and I thought
I
we
believe so,
decided
too.
that they was fine, that they were fine the way they are after they did the repairs. They checked the section and thought that they were fine.
Yeah, I think,
For the life of what the plants,
yeah, with the, yeah, okay.
yeah. Yeah, so that probably can be removed.
Yep.
So 56 is probably going to stay at 0 and be removed.
We'll just take it away.
Yep.
We'll
Yeah.
just take it off the list.
And for 55, we're waiting cost-benefit analysis, right?
Yeah.
Well, we got $21 million worth of projects.
Well, but we
Over the
eliminated.
next several years.
We eliminated a couple,
Yeah, okay.
but there was 0, so
Yeah,
what is the total now?
it didn't change. Fine.
Yeah, it's a big budget over the next
Yeah.
5 years, so.
You guys got a lot on your plate.
Press, I want to be clear, that 21 million that you said, that was just the projects that are being funded. Our total
Oh, is that right?
is 69.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought that seemed low.
21 million
Oh, that's
is
right.
coming
Looked
out
at
of
the
our
wrong
pocket.
place, 69, yeah.
Oh, that's coming out of ours?
Yeah.
Okay.
We gotta cut back on salaries.
Well, if you give up yours, I'll give up mine.
Yeah,
All right,
all right.
moving
Good
on.
job.
I'll perform general discussion on the 5-year O&M budget.
It should be just
So, yeah.
1 year.
Yeah, that was a typo. That should be 1 year. So this one is a little bit more detailed that I'm going to get into. Overall, I adjusted revenues based on new customers coming from White's Pond, Fisher's Cove, Dutchman's Harvest, Roosevelt Landing, Kennedy Property, Hornkill, Tower Hill, Mitchell's Corner Residential Commercial, Capes Cove, Gibbs, and Beach House of Lewis.
Is that all?
With the model, with the model.
Yes. I adjusted other revenue reflecting estimated schedule of developer projects. I used 2.4% inflation rate for expenses. I added cost of service study to the professional and contractual lines. Admin is increasing due to an additional admin employee, rent increase, merit-based increase, a $50,000 fire department donation as opposed to the $30,000, and BPW office cleaning. Also, the admin split is changing from what it was to be split between electric, water, wastewater, and stormwater based on the updated expense share that was reviewed and approved with Finance Committee. So that's electric will be 64%.
But say what that is, okay, how much that is. The allocation for electrical was,
Yes, it was 45, it's changing to 64. Water was 26, going to 14. Wastewater was 24, going to 21. And stormwater was 5, going to 1%. And that has not been reviewed for years, and so that's taken care of now.
and the auditors told us to do that. Or
The
suggested
auditors
we-
have brought it up that it should be reviewed. The bad debt is increased by the residential revenue percent change. Depreciation is increased overall based on the schedule and the adjustments to the new admin allocation. Interest income is based on the expectations provided by UBS, and impact fees are based on new customers. That is overall hitting everything. But specifically for electric, I am modeling a little over 2/5 of a penny increase for industrial to bring the kilowatt hour payment closer to residential and commercial. That is going to be a special ask for you guys to approve along with the budget, because we are going outside the rate track that was already approved. That will result in a small decrease in the PCA, which is about 1/5 of a penny. That will also bring down residential and commercial bills. The wholesale rate is staying the same, so that's props to DMEC. They have done great planning, and we do not have to pay any extra for electric. I am returning the electric department to 4 employees for 2/3 of the year. And I do want to do a PCA audit, the power cost adjustment audit, and that will be included in the financial framework that will be reviewed on the 13th at the Finance Committee, and that may result in lower rates, which will affect the revenue. For water, it includes interest expense for Highland Acres.
May I stop for a second?
Yep.
Why do we want to bring the industrial rate closer to the residential and commercial? What's the rationale?
For equality of payments. So they actually have a demand charge. So after accounting for the demand, they are still paying about a penny less than residential.
Oh, they're paying less?
Yes.
Never mind.
So we're trying to shift. So the demand rate is increasing another 75 cents, and do a small shift to try to bring it closer.
Thank you.
For water, it includes the interest expense for Highland Acres, Jones Farm, 2 payments for Canal Crossing, and 1 payment for the water tower common header in the next fiscal year. The grants and assistance is coming from emerging contaminants. And also I have 1 new employee for a full year that affects water, wastewater, and stormwater. Wastewater employee is actually going down because I am moving more time allotted to stormwater. Because as you may remember, that we had the plan of keeping some stuff internal for this year, spending time on stormwater. Wastewater grant and assistance is coming from Pump Station Resiliency Grant. And lastly, for stormwater, I am also going to ask something different outside of the rate track that we are on now. If you look at the cash flow summary that I gave to you earlier today, there's only one utility that is cash negative for next fiscal year, and it's stormwater. It's only cash negative by $28,600, and we can easily change that by changing the rate track. It would be the residential would go from $10.50 a month to $11.50. Commercial would be $21 a month to $23 a month, and industrial would go from $42 to $46, and that will put us at about $1,000 cash positive. So in order to save us from having that cash negative, which we see later on in the future happening as well, something that small, Finance Committee agreed that we should make that change. So that will be another special request when we do a budget approval next month.
So, question, on the wastewater revenue, these are all new properties, but the beach house is here.
That's the hotel
Yeah,
that's
the
going to go
hotel
up
that's going on
with.
Savannah Road.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
not-
two dips,
not
or
the
was.
beach.
Not
No.
just
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm confused.
I
I'm afraid
was
that's going
too.
to be confused other people in the future.
Yeah, right. Children's beach house versus the beach house.
Right.
So just to recap, it will be a balanced budget with that stormwater adjustment, a fair rate with industrial rates adjustment, and I'll be coming back next month using the framework, and I'll have further review on the PCA, capital projects, any changes from this presentation, and January information, along with a hopeful Finance Committee recommendation for acceptance.
Okay. I guess, is this, so do we an action to approve it?
No, we're bringing it back next month.
Okay,
So
okay,
this is just the presentation of it because our bylaws require
okay,
us to present at least a month before.
all right. Well, Kim,
Good stuff.
you have proven once again, you not only walk on water, you walk about 3 feet over it. I mean, seriously, you've done an exemplary effort.
Thank you.
Can't wait for year 6.
Smack him. All right. Open forum, general discussion on a request from Crown Castle for Comcast.
Yep.
Construction and proceeds for fiber solutions and small cell businesses. Sorry, I'm starting to slur my words.
What this is a request from Crown Council for consent in connection with their proposed sale of their fiber solutions and their small cell business. They currently have 2 agreements with us, one for their fiber business portion, which was done in 2015. They have the small cell wireless agreement that was completed and approved in 2025. The language in the agreements basically says before they can do any sales, transfer, or anything of their assets, they need to request approval from the board. That's part of the agreement.
So is this like pole attachments?
Yep,
Is
the
that-
pole attachments
Because we
is-
don't do telecommunications.
Nope,
or-
it's all the pole attachment stuff,
Okay.
whether it's the fiber portion or the small cell wireless that goes on the poles. Basically, this request has been reviewed by Mike. Again, wasn't 100% sure that it really needed to come back to the board, but at this point, we thought it would be best, since the board approved the agreements, that the board was aware and would approve to move forward with signing the letter. With,
says City of
with,
Lewes.
that's, yep,
Yeah.
there's two.
Okay.
That would have to be changed to the Board of Public Works. And also, as you see Exhibit A, there's only one of the agreements noted. We would have to put that the 2025 agreement was also in there.
And so who would the signature be? Yours?
Yep, yep.
One less thing.
So we're just asking, sorry, we got this like Wednesday afternoon before the agenda, so we posted an agenda. That's why there's no written staff recommendation to give myself and Mike and Sharon the opportunity to look at it.
So, Mike, you okay with it?
Yes, yeah, it's pretty pro forma. I think the only additional thing when we respond is just reinforcing that all of the terms and conditions remain applicable as in the agreement. But it's pretty pro forma otherwise.
So, do I have a motion to approve?
So what are they really asking? Just a change of business licensing thing that has no impact at all on BPW?
That is correct. It is the entity with whom you have an agreement. That is the only thing.
Is it an opportunity to get better terms for pole attachments?
No. No, but it's yeah, industry practice. Essentially it is an asset purchase, and so one entity is going into the other entity, and it's pro forma. But you are under an agreement. The terms of the agreement remain the same for both parties. It's just substituting the new party in the agreement.
But the FiOS agreements that we signed were fairly recent.
Small cell is what you signed. The small cell is what you just signed.
Not the fiber?
No, fiber was in 15.
Correct.
All right. Just, we do have an issue with the other
That's right.
telecommunication companies, but those are all old agreements. And yeah. Okay,
So we just need a motion to direct staff to make the deal with Crown Castle and its new owner.
Yeah, what I have to do is I've got a email into the gentleman that's noted on the, to make him aware, he's going to submit a new letter with the two changes on it.
Yeah.
And then we can sign it if approved by the board.
so you want to amend your motion?
Well, I started. Direct staff to
Sign the required consents for both
sign
agreements.
this agreement and its companion 2025 agreement. Let me get the names changed right, but we have full confidence in the staff to do that.
Second.
All in favor or on the question?
Aye.
All right. So any requests for items on the agenda? I think we've got several that we put on there.
Yeah,
But
next month
is
will be
there
good.
anything additional from any of the board members? And you have until 7 days before, so. All right. So, do I really have to read all this, Mike?
You do not?
Okay, so we don't have to do the call to the public, because there is no public.
You just double check.
You need to,
Yeah, call the public.
Okay.
you need to announce the call to public, but
All right. Members of the public wishing to address the board on matter.
Tom,
You don't have to read it, but you do have to call the public.
You just have to do the call to public only.
Oh. I thought-
You've already read it at the top, so you can,
All right, so call to the public for any questions, comments.
Robert Kennedy is on there.
Nothing.
Okay. Call to the press. Oh, Bill left.
Bill left.
So, we don't need an executive session, right?
Nope.
So we'll just call for a motion to adjourn. So,
Before we do, I guess I can do it afterwards, really. I think we'd like to get the staff to organize getting us together to understand the new financial system.
yeah, I think that should be
Schedule,
handled
could you
outside.
Kim can, it's probably best because it's going directly to Kim, so.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you'll just
So
set it
if you
up,
want to email,
you'll suggest this dates and things like that.
yep,
Fine.
yep.
So with that note, I call the Board of Public Works meeting to an end at, well, that clock's not right.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.